CBS Sports College basketball coverage is sponsored by the all-new 2010 Lexus RX. Reese's, perfect. And by Bud Light, with just the right taste that never fills you up. The difference is drinkability. Greg Gumbel in New York, game 2 of our triple header coming your way. You will see either.
We welcome you to Lawrence, Kansas, this Big 12 showdown, a border war with a lot at stake. The number 11 team in the country, the Missouri Tigers, taking on the 15th ranked Kansas Jayhawks. And today's game is being brought to you in HD TV by Harris Corporation, the world leader in broadcast systems for high-definition television and mobile media. Ian Eagle, Jim Spinarco, the rest of our CBS crew. The energy level inside Allen Fieldhouse is off the charts to open up this matchup.
And it adds to the intensity, Ian, not only with the coaches, the players, it carries all the way to the stands. It may just make its way over here to us in the booth right here, because this place is ready to roll for a terrific game.
Kansas has the nation's longest home court winning streak, 39 consecutive victories here at the Fieldhouse. And the ball out of bounds off the opening tip. Kansas will have possession. Mike Anderson in his 3rd year as the head coach of Missouri. What a turnaround for this Tiger program at 24-4, 11-2 in the Big 12. Winner here will take over sole possession of first place in the conference.
The Tigers love to play the man-to-man aggressive, so you have to look for slip cuts to the basket for Kansas and keep the ball moving.
Morning Star, a jumper, and it rims out on a 3 to open play. Missouri up the floor in a hurry. Inside. Ball was knocked away. And Kim English took a hit. Collins circling his way in, able to get it back. First minute of play here in Lawrence. The spin and the foul call against the freshman English. Take a look at the lineups right now, brought to you by Lexus. Tigers have Tiller, Taylor, English, Lyons, and Carroll. 1 freshman, 2 juniors, 2 seniors. Jayhawks with Collins, Morningstar, Taylor, Aldrich, and Morris. Young team on both sides. Collins, the leader of this Kansas squad, won the national championship last year. Collins came off the bench. They lost all 5 starters from that national championship team. But Collins certainly played a big role on that squad. 81% shooter, 1 out of 2 to open up Kansas with a point on the board.
And in the first meeting this year, the young age and youth on the floor showed, because it really wasn't a great first half. The shooting was dismal by both of these teams. I would think this advantage here with the crowd would help Kansas loosen up their jump shots.
Lyons, a jumper. And rebounded by Aldrich, averaging a double-double, 15 points, 10.7 boards. Up the floor in a hurry. And the freshman Tyjon Taylor, one of the top first-year players in the nation, able to get the deuce.
Well, Bill Self, coach of Kansas, said we're not going to be afraid to go up and down.
Up top, J.T. Tiller floating to the rim, and Lyons with an excellent feed inside.
And just watch for the pressure now. The Tigers will just continue to put the pressure on. Look for Kansas to spread the floor. They will run a backdoor from the wings on occasion. Good no call out front.
Taylor, plenty of time on the shot clock, using the screen set by Morris. Morris, extra feed! Aldridge blows the jam!
A play they were working on in practice yesterday. Get that high pick and roll and get it to the big.
Carroll steps into it, no. And rebounded by Morris, the freshman from Philadelphia. Collins pushing tempo, looping feed. Aldridge couldn't catch it initially. And now, Missouri with numbers if they hurry. Tiller rejected by Morris, but the follow slam. Leo Lyons in the right place at the right time.
Well, that's just what the Tigers want to do, though, Lion. They want to keep the pressure on you with the ball on the offensive end. A lot of times we hear about it, the defensive end.
And the finish from Marcus Morris. He can hurt you from the perimeter. He can hurt you inside around the rim.
Last 4 games, shooting 64% from the floor, so the freshman is growing day by day.
Carroll, one of the top players in the conference, comes up short on the baby hook. Here's Collins in transition. Morning Star, the local
looking for the opportunities. They don't mind going up and down. Bill Self said yesterday, We'll go with them up and down, but we want to make sure we make good decisions. They turned it over 27 times in the first meeting.
Jumper for three, doesn't go for Zaire Taylor. And the rebound controlled by Kansas. They've got a 7-4 lead. Morningstar with a cut. Unable to make the connection to Morris. The bounce pass out of bounds.
Now, one of the things Missouri should think about right now, Bill Self has his team playing with poise, under control, even though they just had the turnover, but he's shaking that one off. I think Missouri needs to start looking towards the basket a little bit. Don't come on the road in one of the best places in terms of the atmosphere and try to shoot your way through the crowd here.
Missouri riding a 7-game winning streak in the Big 12. First time they've done that since 99-2000. They settle again. Tiller unable to hit.
With a little look to the post, but not much. Just a one and done.
Taylor. And spread the floor. Jayhawks open up 3 of 5. Missouri is 2 of 9 from the field. Feed the post. Aldrich. And the jump hook doesn't go. Rebound controlled by Carroll for Missouri.
Always around the ball, both ends of the floor.
Oh, the versatility. Carroll taking it himself, and he's fouled by Morris. Hard to the hole.
Yeah, the leading scorer, leading rebounder, but he plays with the intensity that sets the tone Carroll does for this team.
Well, in the first meeting, February 9th, Zaire Taylor, the leaner with just over a second to play, capped off an 11-2 Missouri run. And the Tigers beat the Jayhawks 62-60. They trailed by 14 at halftime, and a furious comeback in the second half to get the win. 102-year rivalry, 261st all-time meeting, the border war, as Carroll splits a pair of free throws. And Kansas with a 2-point lead. 261st all-time meeting. Kansas leads it with a mark of 166 and 94.
And the rivalry here takes a different level. Let's use the word dislike in terms of these schools. As you see, the baseline opportunity, English stepping across with the body bump. He knows right off the bat he didn't get his foot across to that sideline to cut him down.
And the senior Matt Lawrence has checked into the game with English headed to the bench. You want to say dislike. You talk to the guys. The quote is hatred.
I know.
Tiller the steal, and he can't finish it. Now Kansas with numbers. Aldrich. Big finish.
Well, the quick turnaround too. You miss a bunny down one end of the floor. Boy, the Kansas fans haven't sat down. I was going to say the ones who were sitting got up when they saw the big fella running all alone down the floor.
Tough sequence for Missouri. Should have had an easy 2 for Tiller. And it turned into a bucket on the other end. Carroll's jumper short.
Numbers again if they hurry.
Looking to push it. Collins for Morris.
Good work, running the lanes. Kansas really getting out on the floor. If you get wide to the sidelines, you have better angles coming to the basket. A well-done fast break in terms of the 3-on-2 middle of the floor and kick.
And an 11-5 Kansas lead, just about 5 minutes gone by in this first half. Right now, let's take a look at our Applebee's neighborhood favorite. Quinn Snyder's Missouri Tigers face Southern Illinois, first round of the 2003 tournament. Score tied at 71, closing seconds. Ricky Paulding was fouled on a drive. He made 1 out of 2 from the line, put the Tigers ahead. Kent Williams missed a 3 at the buzzer. Missouri advanced in what remains their last trip to the NCAA tournament. Mike Anderson, we had a chance to chat with him before the game. He said a lot is at stake here. We control our own destiny. Our kids are excited about it. If this is a deep-seated rivalry, and it's probably, in his 3-year tenure, the first time he's really felt it, because it's the first time where Missouri has been able to say that they can play at the Kansas level.
Absolutely. So a lot riding on this game in terms of the competition. We also asked him about his young players, because he's got a bunch of them on this team. He said, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time speaking to them about the game at Kansas. I'll let the guys on my team, the vets who've been here, to give them a feel for the atmosphere here. But it is top-notch in terms of a college basketball atmosphere.
Well, Lawrence, one of the senior leaders on this team. They look to quiet the crowd here. Lions outside Carroll, 16 to shoot.
Nice squeeze defensively here by Kansas, playing it tight in the middle of the floor, not allowing a drive.
Tiller gets a touch with 10. Wow, slapped the ball to Taylor, driving in amongst the trees. And rebound to Aldrich. Missouri is 2 of 12 from the field.
Nice look in the post.
And Morris. That's Markieff Morris, the twin brother of Marcus Morris, getting the layup. And Kansas off to a 13-5 lead to open up. Lions, no. And rebounded by Morris.
Big fella playing guard.
Aldridge, the flip. And out of bounds, last touch by Missouri. And we'll get our first break. Kansas with an excellent start. And the crowd, you can feel it vibrate after that dunk. It's a 10-1 run for Kansas, taking advantage of some Missouri missed opportunities.
Well, they sure have been, because they're getting some open looks, but I think they're settling just a little bit for the flips and the outside shot. And here's the tough one. They miss this layup. It goes the other way for that big jam down the other end. So opportunities Mike Anderson's team has to take advantage of it. Just control themselves just a little bit more.
Ian Eagle, Jim Spinarkle, rest of our CBS crew. It's really a shame the fans just aren't into it.
No.
So here in Lawrence.
Woo. You got to catch your breath here. Just sitting courtside, you have to catch your breath.
My goodness, what an atmosphere here at the Fieldhouse. And this has been such a dominant home court advantage for Kansas through the years. 54th anniversary of the first game played here at Allen Fieldhouse. It took on Kansas State March the 1st, 1955. Kansas with a lead, 13-5. Trying to add to it here.
Missouri switching up to a zone right now, the first look we've seen.
Tyrell Reed in the game. Inside, Little couldn't get it to go. That shot was swatted and a foul call. Keith Ramsey, who just checked in for Missouri.
And once again, that little punch down to the baseline. Good hands here, but Little comes right back. Yesterday he was working hard in practice. He made a couple of mistakes. He got right back into it, and they just really, I think, want to depend on him to get him ready to go whenever he steps on the floor.
Well, he's versatile. Can guard multiple positions. Junior college transfer. Very long and athletic. And certainly Bill Self was getting on Mario Little, and I think in your experience being around college practices, coaches get on the players they believe that have a chance to be special. Knocked outside, and Collins drains the triple.
There's a special player right there. He will take the big shots for them. He's got to make good decisions. But this has been a special week for him, especially against Oklahoma earlier.
It is a 12-0 run for the Jayhawks.
This is a tough team to put the knockout punch on, though. I'd be surprised if the Tigers go away early, and they just keep playing and coming at you.
Remember, first meeting, Kansas had a big lead. Missouri was able to battle back, but that was in Columbia. Denman, shot clock winding down. And a violation. Never got it off in time. And you can barely hear yourself think, let alone an opponent communicate to one another out on the court.
I didn't hear the whistle. I didn't hear the horn. And the Tigers having a little bit of trouble getting untracked here.
Morning Star.
Great matchup here with Tiller, who could be the best defensive player in this league. One of the best guards for sure against Collins.
Collins stutter step to the hoop. And Sharon Collins, explosive guard. A supporting role each of the last 2 years. Now he is a bona fide star for the Jayhawks. Bill Self told us yesterday, he is our stud. Denman, a freshman from Kansas City, off the mark, and a foul called on the inside. Ramsey got tied up.
See, Bill Self knows his team got off to this good start. Mike Anderson just kind of pull some buttons here and get guys on the floor. One of the things with Bill Self, 6th year at Kansas, just put up great numbers, obviously. With look at that 82%, just a touch under that.
This is his 100th game at Allen Fieldhouse as Kansas head coach. He's 93-6. Little taking it down the lane for the bucket. And this is just a barrage. 21-5. Kansas off to a big start. Timeout. Now this border showdown so far has been controlled by Kansas. 21-5, Jayhawks in front. Kansas comes in ranked 15th in the nation. Missouri is number 11, one of the hottest teams in the country.
Let's see if they can get something going towards the basket. Even if you charge or run somebody over, you must get some opportunities going towards the glass.
Tiller swings it. Denman thought about it. Lyons works his way inside. Count it. And the foul.
That's a good timeout, and it's very, very good coaching and execution that translates from Mike Anderson out to his players to execute what he's designed on the floor.
Chance at a three-point play for the senior Leo Lyons when we come back to Lawrence. Border War memories, let's take you back. 1987, Missouri fans remember Lee Coward's heroics against Kansas in Columbia. Three-pointer for Coward, 3 seconds left. That broke a 60-60 tie in the Big 8 championship. Coward was the hero once again. 67-65 win for Missouri. We talked about the turnaround from last year to this year. Through 28 games last year, they were hovering around the 500 mark. Missouri Tigers finished the season at 16-16. Now this is a NCAA tournament team. Depending upon how things transpire the rest of the way here, this team could be looking at a 2 or 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, there's still some business to be done.
Right, and absolutely. And you speak to Mike Anderson, he says he likes this style. You go back to Nolan Richardson in Arkansas, the way they used to play up and down as an assistant coach. So he likes this style as we're seeing right now with the full court, and he'll keep going as much as he can. But he's also giving credit to the players. He says, you know, when I get players, it makes systems that much easier to execute.
Morningstar feeding down low. Kansas in front 21-8. And one and done for the Jayhawks. Missouri needs a lot of stops. Ramsey swings it.
Well, this is where Missouri has to get back-to-back buckets. I see some scoring consecutively.
Aldrich, the long arm of the law.
Who wants it? Where is it? Where is it?
And a tie-up, possession arrow to Missouri. And coming up Thursday on CBS, a Survivor First, a secret alliance unlike anything you've ever seen before. Don't miss a new Survivor. That's Thursday on CBS, America's most watched network.
The ball was playing Survivor just then with 6 guys going after it and squeezing it.
So Missouri controls it off the tie-up. Lawrence contested 3 for Morningstar, and rebound to Aldrich.
You know, Lawrence is a guy who has a carry, careless mistake.
Tyshawn Taylor, the freshman who attended high school in Jersey City, New Jersey, St. Anthony's storied program.
I know a little bit about that city.
A little bit. You and he chatted
beforehand.
Little Jersey City connection.
That's it, my hometown.
Now Tyshawn's a winner. St. Anthony's was undefeated his senior year, ranked number 1 in the nation. Quick hybrid guard. Tiller gives it up. And the layup goes down for Leo Lyons. Lyons has played under control, and Missouri trying to march their way back into it. They trail 21-10.
The made buckets allowed them to extend their defense.
Kansas has won 12 of its last 13 games. Only loss to Missouri. Aldrich, no. Rebounded by Morris. Sticks it right back. Got it in the foul.
The call, I think, went against Missouri just then because I think on the rebound a foul could have been called. But watch Morris stay with it now. The rebound kicks. Does he get ridden out from below? A little bit, yeah. Gets away with it and comes back and finishes it off.
Marcus Morris, improving freshman along with his twin brother. When we sat down with Bill Self, the question was, are you surprised at how good this team is this year? He said, I'm surprised at how good our record is.
Right.
Which, in my mind, meant he feels there's still a ceiling for this team to achieve. Lawrence, they needed a 3. And rebounded by Collins.
Tough pass.
And intercepted.
He had to cross his hands just then.
Tiller's like a safety back there, one of the best defensive players in the conference.
Yeah, just don't get enough strength on it. When you got to cross and go away and across your body, good look down deep.
And Ramsey can't get the roll, the junior college transfer. Collins through traffic, leaves it for Aldrich. Aldrich rocks the rim.
How about the play of Collins, too, to set the table? So important for him to make sure the pace is right for Kansas and they're not making those careless turnovers that we saw a moment ago.
Kansas has 20 points in the paint. 20 of their 25. Ramsey misses the layup on the inside. That's 3 or 4 attempts that I can think back of that Missouri should have had. Wild attempt doesn't go for Collins. And now Missouri running the other way. Tiller, spin to the rim. Good feed, and Lyons puts it down.
And finally, they get one to go down. By Ramsey that missed, but they continue to push up and play the pace that they want to play, and they're comfortable playing it. But you know what? One of the things about playing home on a court like this, boy, you reach a comfort zone and an energy level, and you're in pretty good shape early.
The help defense came from Tiller, and a foul called against the Missouri 2-guard.
A little drop pass, go through the lane and drop it. And Aldridge just does a great job of watching the guards with the ball, and he positions himself to just catch, keep it high, and flush it.
Sharon Collins will be the trigger man. That foul on J.T. Tiller. It's going the other way. A clear out.
Yeah, it's a clear out for Aldridge that they run from underneath their basket.
The second personal foul.
Boy, you want to talk about improvement from one year to the next. That young man, Cole Aldridge, he's now confident. His conditioning has improved. He always had the wide body. Lawrence gives it up for Tiller. Lyons has scored 9 of Missouri's 12 points. He's the senior from Kansas City. Rims out on a straightaway jump shot. Rebound controlled by Morris for Kansas. Carroll comes over to help and able to knock it free from Sharon Collins, so a turnover.
Yeah, not a good pass by Morningstar, but he makes up for it.
Morningstar, he's got the angle.
Oh, nice play defensively. They got him late with the foul.
Tiller sticking with the play, able to block Collins, but a foul on J.T. Tiller, and a big one. That's back-to-back on Tiller, Missouri's best perimeter defender.
How about the challenge here? Morningstar is going to go up, I think, just a touch too far out on the floor. He has to stretch himself out. Good work by Tiller, but a good call from the official just then because he did get him with the body from behind. But here's the stretch, just trying to squeeze it out. Collins thinks he has the easy layup, but not with this guy Tiller behind him.
So Sharon Collins, the Big 12 6th man of the year last season. 1,000-point score, 51st Jayhawk to do it. Out of Chicago. Now Tiller will set. We'll get our first look at Miguel Hall, freshman from Lakeland, Florida. Aldridge will take a seat, as will Tyshawn Taylor for Kansas. Tyrell Reed back out there. Now Denman will come on for Missouri, replacing Lawrence.
Missouri will keep a play-by-play guy on his toes, won't he?
They go 11, 12 deep.
And a lot of them play 10 minutes or more. Nobody plays more than 27 minutes. So, and that's what they want to do, though. They want to stay in games. They want to try to wear people down defensively.
8 points for Collins. Zaire Taylor running the show here for Missouri. Quick move inside. Lyons tried to give it up to Carroll, and it went right through his hands. Tie up. It'll be Kansas basketball. 8:12 to play in this first half. We asked Mike Anderson about the first meeting. He felt like both teams were a little bit tight in that first half. He believes they're one of the best second half teams in the country. Come from behind victory in the first meeting on February 9th, 62-60, trailed by 14 at the break.
Well, they just can't allow this to get too out of control with 8 minutes left or so.
Little gives it up. Reed, a three. Tyrell Reed, 38% from beyond the arc. Burlington, Kansas front.
Spot-up shooter did exactly what he's supposed to do off the bench.
Deflected by Little, out of bounds, and we'll get a timeout. Everybody getting in on the act for the Jayhawks. They've built an 18-point lead here in the first half. Tomorrow on The Big Bang Theory, it's a paintball battle royale. But just remember one thing, don't try this at home. Catch a brand new Big Bang Theory. That's tomorrow at 8, 7 Central, right here on CBS. That big bang that you've heard here in Lawrence has been the Kansas shooting and the Kansas crowd. 30-12, Jayhawks in front.
Well, you look at that three-point shooting, too, for Missouri. They were 0 for 5 to start things off, so settling a little bit. The points in the paint for Kansas, 20-10. Also their breakout baskets, setting the tone easily right here. But you remember that first game, though, Missouri was only 2 of 14 from the three-point stripe. So they didn't get it done in the first game from the outside. Much more difficult to get it done from the outside in a loud, noisy away game.
Well, Missouri comes in second in the Big 12 in scoring, 82.6 per game. And a foul called on the interior. So Markieff Morris will pick up the personal. Lions has 9 points to lead Missouri and a chance to crack double figures here. 75% shooter from the line, a 1,000-point score, 38th. In Tigers basketball history. Denman will take a seat. Just the idea of freshmen coming in here and being asked to perform and try to block out the crowd. That's hard to do.
Well, sometimes the juniors and seniors have a difficulty doing that. They've been here before.
Lions missing on a pair. Still an 18-point differential. Zone look here for Missouri. Collins will shoot over it. And rebounded by Carroll, who is yet to get into the mix here for Missouri. Carroll comes in averaging just over 17 points per game.
They're going to try to isolate him on the blocks a little bit. I know he can step away and hit his 15, 17-foot jump shots. We'll give it to him on the blocks, try to get to the line.
He's been a legitimate force in the paint. The transfer from Vanderbilt. Paul, a freshman. Charge or a block? That's the question. It's a charge! Two officials looked at each other. We've got John Higgins, Ted Hillary, and Terry Moore. It was Higgins and Moore, and it was Moore deferring.
Yeah, Paul commits. I mean, that's the toughest call. There may be a little bit of movement right there when he leaves his feet. So he's up in the air. The defender's still sliding. I know it looks like a chest-to-chest play, but once you get off your feet, the defender's supposed to be stationary and not sliding, even though it was just a touch on that one.
Tyshawn Taylor gets it across. One thing about this Missouri style, you've got to make baskets in order to play that frenetic pressure style on the other end. Reed with 16 to shoot, clears it.
Really extended on the floor right now.
Reed, a long three. Tyrell Reed, Mr. Basketball in the state of Kansas as a senior, coached by his father, Stacy, at Burlington High School. And he has added to the Kansas lead. It's 21.
Nice play by Aldridge just then.
Great save.
Oh, boy. You do not want to be going behind the back on the road right now if you're Missouri.
Paul, the penetration. Trying to use a screen from Bowers, another freshman, extra feed. And Lyons throws it down for the Tigers.
Well, you think Lyons was aware of Aldridge coming across just then, emphatically going after it.
Tyshawn Taylor fouled on his way to the rim. So even after a made basket, Kansas, the philosophy, get it up the floor in a hurry.
Watch this little dump pass right here, takes it, and Lyons gets it in stride. And he knows there's going to be a reaction defensively. It's a kind of a step and roll by Aldridge, but not enough to stop that power play.
He's got 11 of Missouri's 14 points. Taylor put up a career-high 26 points against Oklahoma. And coming up, AT&T at the half, Greg Gumbel, Greg Anthony, and Seth Davis. They've got all the scores and highlights. Also, Greg Anthony and Seth will play a little bracket ball, discussing some of the hot topics around the NCAA, plus an AT&T Naismith Watch update. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half. And Taylor misses on a pair. Rebound to Carroll. Carroll, the fake. Lyons is open. Aldridge has got it for the Jayhawks. Collins, open look at a three. Book it.
That was a great pass by Taylor across the court, too, just then. He had to let Carroll vacate the space.
Lions layup won't go. Missouri just can't buy anything on the offensive end. Reed the fadeaway.
That one went in with the floater. He was almost landed out of bounds after that shot.
JT Tiller is back in there for Missouri. Mike Anderson sensing that they need his energy.
Wow, this is a team that's not confidently finishing.
Bowers, no. Carroll, nothing. And a foul called underneath the basket.
You take a look. Bill Self's squad wants to get up and down. They're not afraid to run with this team. But watch as you're going to see this pass. Vacate, let the defender go by. He clears. And then Collins able to step right into his shot. So great timing on the break and terrific spacing of the floor.
Now free throws aren't working either for Missouri. They came in shooting 67% from the line. And Damari Carroll will have a second one. They're 2 of 5 today from the stripe. And Carroll now just 2 points. On the offensive end, Leo Lyons is 5 of 10 from the field. The rest of this Missouri team, 1 of 17.
Yeah, even the short ones and the long ones not showing ease and confidence yet.
Little a fadeaway. And Taylor with a rebound. Zaire Taylor, combo guard, long and crafty. Carroll sweeping move, and it goes down for the Deuce.
Right, that might have been a violation. You can't hear the whistle. It looked like a violation, and yes, it was. It's tough to pick up the whistle in this building.
What happened? Little stepped over
he stepped,
the baseline.
I saw him step over and say, look, it looked to my eye like it was a violation, but I didn't hear the whistle blow. Bill Self got to say, wake up. These are careless mistakes. Taking the ball out of bounds when they weren't really pressing that trip.
Travis Relaford in. He replaces Tyrell Reed, a freshman for a sophomore. 4:24 to go in this first half. Kansas 36, Missouri 17. Carroll a three. And Tiller going up high. Rebound a little for Kansas.
Another opportunity just then. Tiller had terrific position. You got to get it to your big. Get the big some touches down deep. There you go.
Aldridge, double team comes. Bowers and Carroll. Kansas maintains possession under 4 minutes to go, first half. The floater. Tyshawn Taylor, smooth move to the rim. Justin Safford has come on for Missouri, a sophomore. Right now, Mike Anderson is just looking for something, some combination that can produce points. They've been held to 17.
He's trying to chop into this big lead to get it somewhat manageable.
Taylor, no. As Safford going into the Kansas bench and over it. He still isn't up. 5-on-4, Morningstar. And rebound to Bowers for Missouri. Taylor the lob. Ball got tipped over to Carroll for the easy deuce.
Stafford going over their bench. A little like Blake Griffin yesterday for Oklahoma, going over the scorer's table with a terrific effort.
3:10 to play, first half. Timeout, Kansas, here in Lawrence. Kansas, the defending national champions, 4-time defending Big 12 regular season champions. Missouri was trying to change all that. A victory here today at Fog Allen Fieldhouse would put the Tigers in the driver's seat for the Big 12 regular season crown. But Missouri is 5-20 last 25 meetings here at Allen. Taking it the other way, Tiller.
Nice job by Bowers defensively.
Safford, a lefty, gives it up. And Bowers will clear it with under 3 minutes to go in this first half. 38-19, Jayhawks. Carroll thought about it.
I think they're thinking a little too much almost, rather than just playing instinctive basketball, Missouri.
Taylor is trying to set up Bowers. Instead, it's Carroll.
A little grab of the jersey.
Shot clock winding down. Oh, rejected. Aldridge. He got it with his full hand, maybe even a little wrist.
That little double team not allowing Missouri to get off the floor, and this one is going awry in a hurry.
A timeout. Missouri will have 3 seconds to work with on the shot clock. They're in a deep hole against Kansas. And Missouri has to be frustrated over the missed opportunities. Open looks.
Yeah, they've had a couple that were just not contested, but most of them have been. But even when they've broken down Kansas defensively, they've just not been able to throw the shoulders to the basket to finish it off, to see the ball go through the hoop. And a lot of time, you know, we've spoken about Mike Anderson with the atmosphere. I mean, I was fortunate enough to play at Duke, and Cameron Indoor is a great venue in terms of being able to distract the defender, the other team coming in. Same thing can be said about this and your alma mater, Syracuse. Great atmospheres to work against.
They only have 2 seconds to work with here. 3 doesn't go for Tiller, but the rebound to Carroll for Missouri in a reset. Tiller finds the open man, Lyons. Lawrence able to save. We come up on 2 minutes to play. First half. At Taylor is fouled out front by Taylor. No relation, Zaire and Tyshawn. Big things are happening in late night. This week, Dave hosts a special 5-night performance by U2 at a top 10 from the World Baseball Classic. Then, Craig Ferguson's got Paris Hilton. CBS Late Night is better than ever, and it's all new this week. Quick shot doesn't go for Lawrence. And here comes Kansas.
And Lawrence, their real shooter from outside, leads them with threes, and his shot's not going down, so nothing playing out for Missouri at the offensive end of the floor.
No, they're shooting 24% from the field, 0 of 7 from three-point territory. Spread the floor with 10 to shoot. Collins using the Morris screen. Little shake and bake. Collins to the hoop. And slam down. It's Aldridge on the follow jam.
That inside-outside combination with Collins. Aldridge just does a great job of understanding what Collins is doing on the floor and reads and watches every single move he makes.
Carroll. And a foul as Morris came out to guard Carroll on the perimeter.
You get the high screen, that's going to get Collins working the left side of the floor, and then watch on the right side. Right here, you have the big fella just waiting it out. Ball goes in, so be it, but if not, he's going to clean up any misses. Watch him step defensively. Guys rotate away from Aldridge, and he's there to finish it off. So Lyons left him in a nice placement to go after the offensive rebound.
He had modest numbers as a freshman last year, Bloomington, Minnesota native. He has exploded in his sophomore season as Carroll misses at the free throw line. 17 foul against Kansas, 1-on-1 situation, and Carroll can't take advantage.
Aldridge working on his 17th double-double of the year if he gets there, but he's so consistent this year.
Collins probing. Gets it inside for Little. Kansas 42, Missouri 19.
Kansas is just playing with confidence at both ends of the floor. There's no other way to say it. They're riding the atmosphere of this building.
Taylor to the corner. Tiller can't hit the three. Wow. Follow doesn't go for Bowers, trying to stick with the play.
Well, that's another missed tip that was right there.
Aldridge running the floor.
Good kick out by Aldridge. Good decision. And back out to Collins. They'll get the last shot of the half here. If they end this with a bucket iron, hold on to your earplugs on this one. (42-19).
Can Kansas get 2 more or 3 more? Taylor got it! Lawrence lets it fly. This border war was being billed a title fight. Right now, it's looking like an early round knockout for Kansas.
That was a good old-fashioned thumping in the first half just then.
45-19 at the break. Kansas in front of Missouri. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel in New York with AT&T at the half after these messages. You're watching CBS Sports, the exclusive home of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
New Tuscany lasagna, restaurant quality lasagna that feeds four. AT&T, your world delivered. And by Sheridan Hotels and Resorts. Visit Sheridan.com/NCAA to earn free nights faster.
About set for second half action in Lawrence, Kansas. 45-19. The Jayhawks leading the Tigers. Welcome back courtside, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Jim Spinarco. Intensity is always high for this Kansas-Missouri matchup, but the stakes were actually high as well. Kansas is the team that's responded.
They sure have, and you know, when you're Missouri right now playing on the road and you've been really thumped pretty good in the first half, you just have to come out and really go full court, press as much as you possibly can. But they just in that first half could not get anything to drop. They challenged, they went after the glass. Occasionally they were not contested. And then down the other end, Collins and company to Aldrich with his play. I thought once the first 5 minutes of this game got over with, Kansas just kept building on the momentum of the crowd. And you take a look at these first half stats, and they say a lot.
And a look at the Applebee's first half stats. 0 of 9 from three-point range. The game controlled by Kansas right from the very start. Bench points, that's been a trademark for Missouri this year. Their bench came in averaging over 30 points per game. They've got nothing from the reserves so far. In fact, Mike Anderson played 11 players in the first half. Only 3 actually scored for the Tigers. Kansas ended the first half on a 7-0 run. They've got a 26-point lead. Carroll, the senior, and the flip goes down for Damari Carroll.
You have to go quick. You don't want to rush too much, but you must play an up-tempo, even more type of game than what Missouri normally does.
So 45-21 Kansas. We know what happened the last time these two teams played. Come from behind victory for Missouri, but that was at home, trailing by 14 at the end of the first half. Lions, the step in and the steal for the Tigers.
A lot of push in that last trip underneath the basket with Lyons and Aldrich.
Kim English got into early foul trouble. Freshman from Baltimore, Maryland. Lyons on a kickout. They give it to Lyons, and he takes advantage. 13 for Leo Lyons. He's got those mid-range abilities at 6'9", 245. Aldrich on the interior. Lyons holding his ground, and the help from Zaire Taylor looked like a reach.
Yeah, and if you're Kansas right now, with the big lead, confidence at a high in that first half, you don't want to take the air out of the basketball. Bill Self still wants them to attack, to go after. You look at the field goal percentage, great numbers this afternoon, but you just can't sit back and play passively. And speaking to him yesterday, he thought they did a little of that in the first meeting. Now, once again, they weren't playing with this large lead, but they did have a lead and they played a little passively. So they have to continue to attack and be aggressive at the offensive end without going too fast.
Aldrich, 7 points, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks. Tack on another point for Cole Aldrich, the sophomore. And that was the thing that Bill Self talked about, his confidence. He's been a model of consistency. And a foul called before Damari Carroll got that shot off. So Missouri will have it on the side. Morris picks up the personal. Self also talked about the fact that the freshmen have gotten a lot better from the start of the season to now. He feels he's got a tough team, a team that plays very hard. And they do have depth because of the youngsters. Third foul on Marcus Morris. He sits down. Markieff Morris comes in, and he quickly comes up with a steal.
They stuffed that one out with the baseline double team.
Collins, wide open look. Book it for 3.
The shooting has gotten much better, obviously, with Collins. Boy, one thing about him is the confidence that he shows when he's coming off the screens, and the timing and the stride that he gets, the legs underneath him just perfectly.
Well, he's got tremendous range. Taylor able to answer on the other end for Missouri. first three-pointer of the day for the Tigers. Aldridge handling it. Well, was not an over and back.
Didn't get the second foot over him.
He was still in the backcourt with his right leg. Collins just hit a three. Swing it for Morris. Rims out. Rebounded by Lyons for Missouri. Carroll. Foul called against Morris, who slipped in trying to take the charge. That's number 3 on Markieff Morris. So both brothers in foul trouble.
Tough place to get the ball, and he does slide in just a little bit, doesn't square up. Carroll very close to walking on that play also with the quick catch and turn.
So now Mario Little checks in to replace Morris. Lyons against Aldridge. Missouri looking to chip away here. Carroll one-on-one with Little. Lyons, a three. Leo Lyons showing off his range. He's got 16.
There's still a long way to go, but they're starting to chip away at it and playing a little bit more confidently and getting some rhythm to their offensive end of the floor.
Crossover, Taylor. Little will get a touch. Short. Missouri 4 of 4 to open up the second half. Lyons ducking through. Aldridge there defensively, and a foul call.
Looking down the other end too. Missouri bench starting to pick up a little steam. They're getting more energetic, and Bill Self down his end of the floor is getting like that nervous walk going back and forth. Ian. He's still playing with this big lead, but he can sense just a little bit that the Tigers are warming up a bit.
Now coming up for Missouri, Oklahoma, and they'll be at Texas A&M. And run your bracket competition online for free with Bracket Manager. Invite your friends, fill out brackets, and Bracket Manager does the rest. Sign up now, cbssports.com/brackets. We are officially in March. And it feels like March when you walk into this arena. Tyrell Reed back in there, provided Kansas with some shooting touch in the first half. 50-31, Jayhawks. Collins off the dribble. Lyons, nobody wants it. Lyons thought Carroll was going to get it. And a foul called. Taylor defending Collins. Lyons and Carroll just were not on the same page.
And Mike Anderson saying, you know what? Both of you shouldn't be moving away from the ball. Both of you should be going towards the ball. And watch how many bounces this takes. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. No. Fortunately for Kansas, they were alert and took it the other way.
Well, a big part of the way Missouri beat Kansas in the first meeting. 27 Jayhawk turnovers. That has not been as big an issue here today. 9 so far for Kansas.
And more on the aggressive side. You know, Bill Self said, you know, a lot of our turnovers at Missouri were careless turnovers, really not forced, but some of them were obviously playing on the road.
16 points for Collins. He comes in averaging 18, among the leaders in the Big 12. Lyons going high-low action. And Damari Carroll with the finish.
I like the quick finish, too. The catch and go. Nothing to think about. Instinctive basketball.
He's in double figures now with 10. They just get it across. Boy, it looked like Reed's foot may have creeped back into the backcourt.
I thought he advanced right in front of us.
Taylor setting it up with the left hand. Ball came right back to Taylor, and he sticks it in.
Taylor also got himself back in play, too, and he didn't stop out of bounds. I think a foot was out of bounds. Reestablished the footwork to finish it off.
3-time Big 12 Rookie of the Week honors. Inside, Little there to meet Lyons. And there was nothing little about that move. Leo Lyons will be shooting 2. When we come back, does Missouri have a major run left in them? We'll find out. Another border war memory. 1997, Missouri and Kansas squared off in the inaugural Big 12 championship. Tigers had no answer for Paul Pierce. You may have heard of him. Sophomore finished with a career-high 30 points, 11 rebounds. Kansas rolled an 87-60 victory. Here at home, nobody has been better. Longest active home winning streak belongs to Kansas. 39 straight. Beware of the fog.
And some places have a reputation for being a difficult place to play. And this one, though, it's real. I mean, the tradition
tangible
has been great here. And you walk into this building, and it's a distraction. I always thought playing down at Duke in Cameron Indoor Stadium, as a home player, you were just waiting for the visitors to be distracted by what's going on in the stands, the noise. It's just not a comfort zone that they're used to. And I think Missouri came in here, especially the youngsters, missing their shots early on, and really had some problems with the crowd and the distractions.
54-35, Kansas, the number 15 team in the country, taking on 11th ranked Missouri. Just about 5 minutes gone by in this second half. Missouri has looked sharper in the second half, but such a deep hole to dig themselves out of from the first half performance. Aldridge short, battle for the loose ball. Lions there, a tie-up, and the ball will stay right there. Kansas has the possession arrow. Missouri 5 of 5 from the field in the second half. The Jayhawks are 2 of 7.
And looking for that lob again, but they closed the middle of the floor much better than we saw in the first half.
One of the most heated rivalries in the nation. Kansas and Missouri. Reed got it for three.
Well, Reed's just spotting up. He did it in the first half, too. He's just watching, tracking the basketball, looking for seams.
3 threes for Tyrell Reed. And Kansas in front by 22. English to the hoop. And rebounded by Morningstar. Freddie Morningstar, red shirt last season. Reed. Long rebound tracked down by Lions.
Off balance a little bit. The difference between making a shot and missing one. Oh, boy.
Not sure if Taylor was looking for Tiller or Carroll on that play.
I thought it might have been Tiller. He didn't go for the ball, though.
Collins. A three.
Boy, did he ever go upstairs with the arc on that shot, though, too. What a beautiful-looking corner jump shot. We've seen him from straight on. Find the open spots, come up and down the floor, and bury shots.
And another Jayhawk flurry here in Lawrence. CBS Sports coverage of NCAA men's basketball will continue after this message and a word from your local station. Kirk Heinrich, outstanding guard for the Kansas Jayhawks, 4-year letterman from 99 to 2003. Couple of Final Fours in 02 and 03, including national runners-up in 2003. Among the all-time leaders in school history in scoring and assists. And at halftime, Heinrich and his number retired, sent to the rafters. Number 10, Kirk Heinrich. Very popular player here in Lawrence, and he's on hand here this afternoon. Nick Collison, former teammate of his, is actually right next to him. Member of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Heinrich, of course, a guard with the Chicago Bulls, and both have made the Jayhawk program very proud.
And I'd say this crowd gave him and when they introduced Collison, a very, very warm reception. Boy, it was fun to watch.
60-35. This has been fun overall for Kansas here today. Edmond almost had it stolen away. Tiller, the drive and the find. Carroll for the Dukes. 12 points for DeMarre Carroll, senior from Birmingham, Alabama. And a bump along the sideline as Reed took a shot. And it'll be Carroll picking up the personal.
Well, Mike Anderson's squad has to do this. They just have to come up and keep playing as hard as they can, extending. He'll continue to rotate the depth in there, guys off the bench. Kansas just has to show some poise. Be smart with the basketball, take a little balancing of taking time off the clock and getting everybody involved both sides of the floor.
Collins knocked out of bounds, and Missouri forces a turnover. NCAA March Madness on Demand is back. Every game from the first round through the NCAA Championship will be available live online for free. Get complete details. Sign up for email notifications at ncaa.com.
Should be a great year, shouldn't it? The way #1 has been knocked off throughout the last 6 or 7 weeks. This baby's up for grabs this year.
Tiller running one-hander and a blocking foul call. JT Tiller going to the free throw line. Little took that shot for Kansas.
Well, bring the ball to the glass. You're playing from behind, take some chances. And just a good aggressive drive by Tiller gets himself to the line.
And the third personal on Mario Little. Well, this Missouri team, they're athletic, they're relentless. They believe in that pressure style, that frenetic philosophy. And they build themselves as the fastest 40 minutes in basketball. But the way this game started, they never got a chance to put their fingerprints on this game. Kansas just started out getting the crowd behind them and building the lead. We have not seen Missouri basketball yet.
No, we saw 20 minutes of Kansas basketball in that first half. And never, you know, the efficiency of Kansas at both ends of the floor, never allowing Missouri to really get on track.
Run the weave here. And Collins short pop. He is crafty. Sherron Collins has 21. His worst game of the season came the first time these two teams met. Missed 2 big free throws late. Bowers knocked away. And it's going the other way. Turnover, Missouri.
Well, Bill Self spoke, as you mentioned, about Collins and the way he just steps up and is the leader. It's his team to really lead this basketball club in a lot of different ways. But over the last 3 or 4 games, he has really stepped up his play. Not only the overall, but the scoring is starting to get better and better. He came in averaging 23 over the last 3 games. You know, so they're getting quite a bit of mileage out of a guy who's supposed to be running a club, which they're not going to take anything away from him.
Well, Self said, because the team is so young, Collins has understood that there have been times where he's had to drag the other guys on the team with him along for the ride. And a foul called as Tyshawn Taylor was able to break down the Missouri defense.
He's referred to some of the guys on his team as his youngins.
Youngins. Like me with you.
Exactly.
Near the end of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team in recognition of continued excellence on and off the court. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each university's general scholarship fund to support the development of new technologies and innovations. Learn more about Chevy innovations at Chevy.com. Tyshawn Taylor, 72% free throw shooter, originally signed with Marquette before Tom Crean left for Indiana. And then he was up for grabs, and Bill Self and the Kansas coaching staff got themselves a dandy.
The upside was terrific for him. I mean, he's had a great freshman year.
Good looking shot from Lawrence Bowers, long athletic freshman from Memphis, Tennessee. Put up 16 points in 15 minutes the other night in a victory over Kansas State. They blew out Kansas State 94-74. Missouri was riding a high, undefeated in the month of February, 6-0. 7-game winning streak overall. Aldridge, too tough.
They really have grown as a team, but their inside and outside play complements one another. Aldridge just continues to get better and better, and he just has terrific footwork to position himself in the blocks. A little bump there by Little.
Well, it's going to be number 4 on Mario Little. And a timeout. Cole Aldridge has been getting comparisons to Kevin McHale. That's high praise. Good company. Very good company. Timeout.
CBS Sports College Basketball coverage is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Sonic's new everyday value menu. It's not just good, it's Sonic good. And by Chevy, an American revolution.
It's March. Take a deep breath. Here we go. Oh, my goodness. As good as it gets. March Madness here on CBS. One of the best months of the year. When you hear the name Spinarkle, you think March, because you know the tournament is coming.
Is that right?
Yeah, back to your Duke days, and now as a commentator, your 12th year doing the tournament on CBS.
All with you?
Well, that part I didn't realize.
It's been a fun ride. It's going to be another good.
We're looking forward to it every year. Your blood starts boiling, getting ready for NCAA tournament play. These two teams will be part of the field of 65. Taylor lines it up, and he hits a three.
And nobody has really established himself as the runaway favorite to take it this year, which I think makes it even much more fun. Because there are 8 or 10 teams, if they're not playing on their top of their game, they can all be knocked off, as we have seen already this year, when nobody seems to want to take over the #1 position.
Missouri is 8 of 9 from the field in the second half, but a 26-point halftime deficit is still 22 and make it 24 on the driving deuce from Cole Aldridge.
We talked about that Kevin McHale similarity right there. Another great example of his footwork to make sure he gets a clean shot going to the hoop.
Denman, that's a three. And rebound tracked down by Taylor, able to find Carroll, knifing his way through. And knocked out of bounds off of Safford. Kansas takes over with 10:42 on the clock. This Kansas team lost 6 of its top 7 players from last year. All 5 starters. Bill Self, certainly a Coach of the Year candidate nationally, legitimate candidate for what he has done with this Jayhawk team. His 6th year as the head man, 16th overall as a head coach. He's led 3 different teams to the Elite 8, Tulsa, Illinois, and Kansas. His first job was an assistant under Larry Brown at Kansas, 1985, after graduating from Oklahoma State. Jayhawks are shooting 55% today.
They love this high screen for Collins. Gives him an opportunity to assess what's going on, and he reads the court just so well. Nice little lob.
Get it to the big man. Aldridge finishes +1.
Terrific basketball. When you don't need to hurry, have Collins direct the traffic and perfectly lob from a difficult spot on the floor to make this play happen. When we talk about Aldridge setting himself up, he positions himself and then uses the footwork to regather and finish off at the same time. Terrific work there by 2 guys, the inside-outside combination.
And you've got to believe he has benefited from the presence of Danny Manning on his Kansas coaching staff, who knows a trick or 2 around the inside after a brilliant collegiate career for the Jayhawks.
And Bill Self said yes to that, but Manning has helped him, but he also said Manning has helped everybody on this team and in this program.
15 points, 9 rebounds for Aldridge, closing in on his 17th double-double of the season. Quick release by Carroll. 14 points for DeMarre Carroll, known as the Junkyard Dog. Big 12 newcomer of the year last season.
He's improved his game, though, Carroll has, from that junkyard dog mentality, which means just go after everything. You take a look at the points allowed, working today. But defensively, having their problems, that Carroll has picked up his game also, eyeing a step away for that 15, 17-foot jump shot also.
Now, Missouri leads the Big 12 in scoring margin this season, averaging 17.2 points per game in differential. The margin has been wide, just on the wrong side today.
Yeah, I mean, they lead, you know, they're up there in the leaders with a lot of different things. Little push by Carroll. You take a look, assists the game, #1, and how about the assist to turnover ratio, #2. But you know what, you can take, you know, you're playing in a place like Kansas right here, and they get off to that early start. A lot of times these stats can go right out the window in a hurry, and I think today was one of them.
Six team fouls against Missouri and 16 fouls against Kansas. 71-46 Jayhawks. Collins squeezes it inside. Quintrell Thomas getting an opportunity now. Foul trouble for Little and both Morris brothers. And Carroll has picked up his 3rd foul. So Thomas goes to the line for a 1-and-1. 17th foul against the Tigers. Well, these are moments where you find out something about your team, even in defeat.
Right.
Thomas, the freshman from Newark, New Jersey, 70% free throw shooter. Now we still have 9:20 to go, still plenty of time left, but they've got about a 2-hour and 45-minute bus ride back to Columbia, Missouri. And that's a lot of time to ponder exactly what's taken place here today in Lawrence. Taylor to the hoop. Oh, that's nifty.
Nice reverse to avoid the block, but a little violation again. We saw that earlier, second time this afternoon, but that bus ride might seem like 2.5 days back to the home campus. But a nice finish right here. Avoid the power side and go to the weak side. The basket becomes your friend.
And then Quintrell Thomas stepped over the line. Violation. Missouri gets it back. Trailing by 24. Taylor, nice look inside. And the little floater goes for Keith Ramsey, junior from Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
I thought that ball, Ramsey lost the handle on that. I thought he was lucky for that ball to go in. They had some problems he did in the first half where he missed a couple.
Handle the pressure. Reed brings it across. Yeah, they're fortunate. They've got Collins who can handle it. Reed can handle it. Tyshawn Taylor can handle the ball. Catch and fire. Collins. Rainbow delivery doesn't go down. It's rebounded by Miguel Paul. He's got some speed. Paul missed it for three.
Nice run out.
Collins catches up to it. Does he have the angle? He does. Sharon Collins, 23 for the junior All-American candidate.
Started to think for a minute there he might pull out with the big score, but he delayed just a little bit. Got the Tigers to slow down and then finish it off very quickly.
And falling down, JT Tiller gets the deuce. Tiller originally signed on to play at Alabama Birmingham for Mike Anderson. Anderson got the job at Missouri, and Tiller made his way to Columbia. 74-52 Kansas. 7:35 to go, second half.
And look at the way they're spreading the floor too, using both sides.
Reed rejected by Carroll. Looping feed for Paul. Missouri on the attack. Carroll feeds the lane and lays it in. Timeout, Bill Self and the Jayhawks. Missouri has cut it to 20. Kansas still has a very comfortable lead, thanks in large part to that man, Sharon Collins. Getting it done today for the Jayhawks. Bill Self and the Kansas Jayhawks try to make a statement here today at home. Missouri has gone on a 10-2 run over the last 2 minutes, but it has not done much to change the scoreboard. Kansas still in front by 20 with 7:21 to play. Brady Morningstar is on for the Jayhawks. Another player that can handle the ball for Kansas. Collins mishandles it. It was taken away. Had his pocket picked. Zaire Taylor. Carroll thought about it.
Everybody thought he walked. There was a little foul just then by Morningstar. Got away with one.
And ball knocked out of bounds off of Kansas. So Missouri will have possession when we come back to Lawrence. Look at the game summary with Kansas in front, 74-54, blistering pace from the shooting side of things, 51%. They've made their threes as well. Their bench has contributed. Everything is going right for Kansas. Ian Eagle along with Jim Spinarco, rest of our CBS crew. Kansas defending national champions. And normally you don't know what to expect from a defending national champion, especially when they lose as many players as Kansas did. The Jayhawks have reloaded.
They have, and I think what you look at it, and Bill Self did, he spoke about it yesterday, is the fact that, you know, this team starts out, young team giving up a lot of points from last year, but a great successful season last year. How do they build it? What do they do? He kind of lets this team grow. He's gaining more and more confidence in not only the vets who came back, but also the young players are starting to mature and get better and better. So the combination so far is really starting to work.
Get it inside on the cut by Kim English. Finally getting into the scoring column. And we are now under 20.
This is where you still want to be smart and keep attacking, but you don't need to attack in the first 5 or 8 seconds of the shot clock. once it starts wearing down just a little bit, you got to be strong and aggressive still.
Spread the ball and use clock. Taylor. Shot clock is down to 8. Morningstar out for Collins. Trying to make something happen. Zigzagging on the move. Lost the ball on the way up. And it was touched by Missouri with 2 seconds remaining on the 35. Now, Bill Self and the Jayhawks have to believe that lightning cannot strike twice in this matchup. Missouri came all the way back in the first meeting, but that was in Columbia.
They like to push the middle of the floor and then look lob. Here it comes. Oh, too far.
But Morris there, and a tie-up. Possession arrow to Missouri.
That was well defended because the ball was just timed. It wasn't timed well for the lob opportunity for Aldridge. You take a look at this play. See, he's there. He's going to have an opportunity to tip and guide the ball. Missouri comes in and closes, so they defended the second part of the play.
Missouri has not swept Kansas since the 93-94 season. Carroll trying to put some pressure on the Jayhawks, but unable to hit. Rebound to Morningstar. 6 minutes to play. Taylor on a crossover. Paul the reach in. And that will send Tyjon Taylor to the free throw line. 8th team foul against Missouri.
Usually a pretty easy call for the officials when you see part of the jersey being pulled away from a guy's body.
At the line, shooting a
You think?
Once in a while.
Yeah. And Taylor at the line, 72%. Very unselfish, outstanding instincts. He's been an impact player. And coming up, we will have the third game of our triple header. Big Ten battle. Number 9 Michigan State against number 20 Illinois right here on the exclusive home of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship, CBS Sports. "13 points, 4 assists for Taylor. The lead is back to 20. Doesn't go for Lyons, sticking with it. Spin move. Nearly gets stuck up there. And a foul call. It's going the other way. Carroll down low picks up the personal. 1-1 here for Kansas. Well, the Big 12. We know there's quality there with Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Texas. Right now, Kansas will be in the driver's seat with a victory here. And if they can run the table, well, who knows? Kansas may be in line for a #1 seed, depending upon how everything shakes out around the country during conference tournament time. 4th foul on Carroll. And Markieff Morris at the free throw line, 62% shooter. He can play power forward or center. Give himself a little flexibility.
Yeah, to your point, Ian, I think this year, more than a lot of years in the past, everything is really still up for grabs in terms of who's going to establish themselves as that true couple of #1 seeds.
Rimming out on a 3 for Taylor. English will go to the free throw line. Aldridge, the personal foul with 5:25 on the clock. Now, this Missouri team was predicted to finish 7th in the Big 12. They could not fall below 3rd place when all is said and done. While Bernie Madoff was operating the biggest Ponzi scheme ever, one man was trying to tell the government tonight. He'll tell 60 Minutes. (78-58). Kansas. Morningstar handles the pressure. Look out! Oh, Aldridge up top with a slammer. 17 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks for Cole Aldridge.
Well, they know how to try to come back and put a knockout punch on.
Taylor's flip doesn't go. Rebound to Moore, up the floor. Taylor, back back of the iron. Long rebound.
Showtime all of a sudden here.
And Collins will back it out. Down to 4:42 to play. Kansas in control, 80-58. This has been a lopsided border war. Morning Star. Off the rim. Tracked down by Carroll for Missouri.
These fans want every single shot to go in. They want to just keep pouring it on.
Taylor short. Well, the way it was described is Kansas, Missouri, they believe they have rivals in the Big 12,
right,
but they look at each other as enemies. It's a different level. And a timeout. 4:05 to play. Fans have gotten excited throughout the day, including Cole Aldrich going airborne. The big man can get up. Timeout. Kansas 80, Missouri 58 with 4:05 to play in this first half. Well, we got a chance to sit down and watch practice yesterday. Bill Self also had the opportunity to meet with Mike Anderson earlier today. This Kansas team has had a lot of rest. Their last game, 87-78 win over Oklahoma in Norman on Monday. Sooners playing without Blake Griffin. So they've had a lot of time to think about this matchup and revenge on their mind against Missouri. Off the miss for Moore. Taylor. Wide open lane to work with for Tyshawn Taylor. The freshman has 15 points.
And big leads will put you into a comfort zone, Iron, with your confidence. And it just seems like everything goes your way when you're playing with the big lead.
Taylor with a pretty finish off the ball fake. But Missouri just never threatened. Started off the second half shooting the ball well. Maybe you thought they could give Kansas something to think about, but it never got to that level here. Collins, pull-up pop for two.
Well, he does have just a flat-out great-looking jumper from all aspects. Off the dribble, gets his elevation up, the rotation, the follow-through.
Kansas jumped out to a 21-5 lead. They led it at the break, 45-19. Lions, that three doesn't go. Aldrich able to clear it. His 11th rebound of the day. Under 3 minutes to play. Taylor, the penetration. Oh, Kansas is pulling it up.
They're going to have to get a new rim before this one's over, or fix the new rims during the week, because they are just really going after here down the stretch.
Taylor swings it. Lions strip. Cole Aldrich is in the middle of a number of Jayhawk highlights. Most of them looking just like this.
Let's send you back to Ian and Jim.
All right, Greg Gumbel, thanks very much. Here it has been all Kansas, 86-60. The Jayhawks leading it in this border showdown. A lot at stake here, controlling their own destiny with a victory for either Kansas or Missouri. And it looks like the Jayhawks will emerge with first place in the Big 12 and a chance to win their 5th straight regular season conference championship. Shot clock winding down. Paul unable to hit. Rebounded by Aldrich. That's number 14 off the boards for the big center, Cole Aldrich. And a timeout. Changes will be made here for Kansas with 1:51. Bill Self is looking to empty his bench.
An interesting way to do it, too. Reinforce the team concept. All out, all in. Smart.
And a timeout with 1:51 remaining. Kansas cruising to another victory. Back to live action here with 1:41 to go. Now Kansas has emptied its bench. They've got their largest lead as Quintrell Thomas made the deuce for the Jayhawks. And Missouri able to answer. Appleton now on the floor. Connor Tehan joins him, as does Matt Kleinman. Travis Relaford, the freshman from Kansas City, now with the basketball for the Jayhawks. Just over a minute left. Appleton, the floater.
Fans just want to see everybody score at this point.
English, he took the hit, scored the bucket, and a chance at a three-point play. 1-0 CAA Men's Basketball Championship, and obviously, Jimmy, a rivalry that you're very familiar with. You lived it.
Oh, it's absolutely great. You know, 8 miles apart, 10 miles apart. The tradition down there, and similar to here in terms of having tradition both at Carolina and Duke. And we don't dislike them as much as people think.
Oh, no. Not at all. Appleton swings it out for Thomas. And here comes Missouri. Paul, the lob, and English denied by the rim. Just giving Kansas fans one more thing to cheer about.
Yeah, somewhat a statement both ways. We've seen the dunks by Kansas in the last minute and a half, and the missed dunk probably sums it up for Missouri this afternoon, too.
Tehan gets it up to Hamilton. 12 seconds left. Kansas, Missouri. The border war. Rock, chalk, blowout. 90-65 Kansas. Let's go to New York and Greg Humble.